Hello all, and now for everybody's favorite topic, math. We know there have been shifts in the content to align with the Common Core, but our focus in the future is going to be to focus on the 8 mathematical practices within our students so that they make sense of and they persevere in solving problems and that they use mathematical tools and be precise and all those things. So let's take a look at some of the items in the sample items in the mathematics packet. And as we look, feel free to pause this podcast and actually look at the items just because they do take a little bit of study to look at to make sense out of them. On page 1, you'll see a 4th grade sample that is a selected response item. And just like the ELA examples, the standards, the depth of knowledge, and the item type have been marked with the letters A, B, and C. Please notice also when you look at the starred row, that item is also listed to one or more of the mathematical practices, and those are the important ones. You will see that this particular sample item is aligned to 4th grade operations in algebraic thinking, standard number 2, which is using multiplication and division to solve word problems. It has a depth of knowledge of 2, and the SR stands for selected response. So when you look at this, an interesting thing to notice is about this problem is that the students have to answer each of the foils with a yes or a no and get the right combination in order to get a correct response on this. So it's a little different from what we've done before. On page 2, there's a 4th grade technology enhanced item. That's item type TE. The students have to click and then drag those shapes into the different boxes that are there. And if you look at it, you can see that the shapes actually can go into more than one box. So again, it's not just a multiple choice where you kind of get rid of your alternatives. You really have to understand this quite a bit more challenging. On page 3 and 4, there's again a 4th grade, but this time constructed response item. And notice that on this one, students actually have to explain why the student's response there or reasoning in the solution is correct or not. That's actually what makes this a depth of knowledge 3, is because they have to do this explaining. Then on pages 5 through 15, they demonstrate a 4th grade performance task item. This particular task involves multiple parts and even asks students to do some pre-work to gather information needed to complete this task. As you can see next to the letter A there, it's correlated with quite a few standards, I believe about 12 of them. And I think all 8 mathematical practices are also included. So this task is very application-based, and it's of course relevant to using math in the real world. That's why it is as effective as it is. Then going to page 16, we actually have a sample item. This is a 6th grade sample item that has a depth of knowledge level of 1, and it's a selected response item. And notice again that there is more than one correct answer on this one. So again, a bit more challenging than our usual multiple choice problems. On page 17 and 18, they demonstrate a technology enhanced item for 6th grade with a depth of knowledge level 2. Students are asked to electronically plot points on a graph and then find the area of the enclosed figure. So you can see how the Smarter Balanced Consortium is using technology to help make this a little bit more, a little easier for grading for them, and at the same time we can capture data that way too electronically. Pages 19 through 33, this you should take some time to look at. They detail an 8th grade performance task that is designed to take 2 sessions totaling about 120 minutes. Quite a challenging task, fascinating, and it's doable, but boy does it look exciting. So how will we help our students to prepare for these types of tasks? Obviously, one step at a time. There's no need to overwhelm ourselves or our students. And as a matter of fact, this past year we've already started on this road of working towards this. We've been working on content alignment, and we've also focused very much on the importance of problem solving and allowing our students to have think time so that they can think and struggle with mathematics a bit. This struggle is very important in developing their stamina and their tenacity and keeping at solving problems, because as you can see, they're going to need that. We will continue to refine these instructional practices as we move into next year. And we'll also be working on revising and developing common assessments which require these higher levels of thinking processes so that our students will become used to this over the years and they'll be ready by the time 2014, 2015 comes around. So be looking for, an occasional isolated, more in-depth item on our common assessments as the years roll on. Next year, there will be a focus on developing assessments that contain constructed response items, and at least once next year, we will want our students to be involved in a multi-part performance task. Is this going to be challenging? Absolutely. But we will ourselves persevere, and we'll work together, and we'll support each other, and in the end, the students will be the ones who really will benefit. Because remember, you're teaching the students who are going to be picking your nursing home.